Hi, y'all. This is Philippe, the Learn to Grow guy. Guys, um, I have a confession to make. We're not completely off grid, okay? Depending on your point of view, okay? For some people, if you don't have a power line coming to your place, if you don't have a water line coming to your place, if you don't have a gas line coming to your place, you are classified as off grid. However, for some people, if you have gas delivered like I have here, what I have here is a 120-pound propane tank, and this was installed back in 2022. It was filled in 2022 as well. And this baby provides the fuel that we need to provide us with all the hot water we need inside the cabin behind me. Okay. Now here's the thing. Back when it was filled back in 2022, they filled them at 80%. Okay, and they do they do that because it's supposed to be a safety thing, as to where they want to make sure that like I said, it's a safety feature. Okay, if you notice, what we've got is just below 60%. Okay, it's just below 60%. What does that mean? It means that we have plenty of propane to do whatever it is that we would have need of as far as hot water is concerned. Okay, 60%, that's like, what is it, about 10% that we lost. Well, 10 to 20% that we used up over the past 2 years, 10% per year. That's not too bad. That means that we have propane to last us for several more years. Okay, now this is not the only reason why we use propane. Okay, we also use propane for cooking. Now, can we use something else to heat up water with? Yes, we can. There's hot water heaters that they make out there that uses what's that, wood burning stoves. That's where they have coils that coil within, and that coil is used to heat up water, and you can have all the hot water you want as long as you have wood burning on the stove. You're all good. Okay. Now let's go to the second reason why we actually use propane. It's right here. We use propane for cooking. So if you look inside here, we have a 20-pound propane tank, and on top here, this is the grill where we do some grilling. We cook stuff on here. We bake the squashes on here. We do a lot of things on here. Over here is the burner that we use. We use that for frying stuff such as I don't know, sautéing veggies and stuff like that. We do that on there as well. Um, this here Dutch oven, we use Dutch ovens for a lot of things. This particular Dutch oven has baked some good bread. We've had a lot of stuff in there. A lot of things were cooked in here, stews, etc. We've even had, what is that? Stuffing. Yep, stuffing. That's what I called it. However, what I used to do is that I would take the stuff they make with the cornbread or the cornmeal, and as well as the other stuff that they make with the bread. I clump them all together. I call them all stuffing. But as it was made very clear to me in more recent days, since we're just not overcoming Thanksgiving, this is a week after Thanksgiving. What I was told is that stuffing is what gets stuffed inside the turkey, and that is typically made with bread. Okay, dried up, crunched up bread and stuff like that. Okay, stale bread, whatever you want to call it, flavored, seasoned, and everything. The stuff on the other side, on the outside, that they dress around where the turkey goes on that platter or whatever it is that they put turkeys on. I don't eat the stuff, so it doesn't. For me, it doesn't matter. Okay, but the stuff that they put on the other side, on the outside of the turkey, to dress up the dish, that is called dressing. Did you get that? It's called dressing. So anyway, that's what was cleared up to me. Okay, now as far as cooking is concerned, is this the only way we could cook? No, you can use a wood burning stove to cook. We have, as you can look around, we have plenty of trees around for us to do all the cooking we want using all the wood we want. Okay, and we have deciduous trees as well as a variety of pine trees out here also. Okay, but as far as what we use on the inside, and oh, before I get to the inside, and by the way, in cooking outside, it's a good way to cook in my opinion. I've done it when I've gone camping plenty of times. I've always enjoyed that. Okay, as far as what we use inside to cook, we use hot water. We have something to boil hot water fairly quickly. We also have hot plates. We have something called an instant pot, Instapot, or whatever you call it. It's like an instant pot or something. That's what they call it. We also have, like I said, we have burners. We have stuff. A rice cooker. We also have a rice cooker that we could use also for cooking rice. Okay, so we have a lot of different things that we use because we have electricity through these solar panels here that we use so that we can cook stuff on the inside when we're not cooking outside. Okay, so the third reason why we use propane is actually for heating inside the 12 by 22 cabin. Okay. I do have a small stove that I want to use that I'm planning on installing. I bought it back in 2022 as well. It's just that I've sort of been on the little scared side of punching holes in perfectly sealed cabins. Okay, that's been basically it. However, I want to make sure that I install it this year, 2024. Okay, well, during this winter, let me say that. Excuse me. If it's real cold outside, it ain't gonna work for me. I'm not gonna be installing it. On a mild day like today, I can work on that. I can work with this, okay? But third reason is here. Okay, we're going inside the cabin. We're going inside the greenhouse. This you can say is my little workshop as well, you know, because during the winter months, since this is a greenhouse, it naturally gets warm whenever we have sunlight, okay? If we don't have sunlight, I'll put this in here. This will get the temperatures up to about 60 degrees. Even though I have lots of little holes for heat to, get out of, I need to tighten this door up a little bit. But so that all that is where he can actually escape. But nonetheless, it still does, this little baby here still does a job of keeping it about roughly 60 degrees in here. It seems to be the magic number as far as temperatures that this thing's able to, keep things warm at. Because, well, let me identify who they are, okay? Both of these heaters are made by Mr. Heater, okay? This one is a little portable buddy. This one's my big buddy. Hey, big buddy, how you doing, big buddy? Okay, so anyway, both of these, they work very well. I would recommend, if you're looking at trying to buy a heater, space heater that's operated by propane, I still recommend them. They can still be used, I know this one specifically can still be used on the inside because it has built-in, oxygen sensor or carbon dioxide sensor. If the oxygen levels are dropping or the CO2 levels are increasing, it will shut off. I believe this one does the same thing as well. Also, if you tip any of them over, they will automatically shut off as well. This one uses one of those 1 pound tanks. This one uses 2, but either of them can be hooked up with a 20 pound propane tank, and we're going to get to that in a minute, okay? Now, this one here, I tested this one out, I think it was Sunday. This one, we turned it on. The temperature was between 16 and 26 degrees. And this one maintained temperatures for us at about 60 degrees. And it didn't go beyond the 60 degrees. Okay. And then this was set on high at the time. Okay. This baby here, you turn this baby on. Basically what we do is that we turn it on to high. Okay. We turn it on to high. And from there, we turn it down because it gets the cabin nice and toasty. With plenty of humidity in the air, and for both of these, to make sure that the oxygen sensors do not turn them off, we keep 2 windows open, small crack, about so big, okay, so that we have airflow going through, so that the carbon monoxide detectors do not turn off the units, okay. So with that said, if you're going to buy these units, you want to make sure that you have one of these readily available. Okay, this is a filter. Da-da-da. And I have one at the back of this hose here so that it filters stuff. Okay, and the question is, what does it filter? Well, let me explain that to you. I'm glad you asked that question. Okay. Propane is a hydrocarbon gas. Okay, it comes from, you know how they go and they drill into the earth and they pull out all of this oil and stuff? Well, in processing the oil, they pull out natural gas. And as they continue the process with natural gas, they also get propane out of it as well. Okay, so, but both of those gases, they do not have a smell to them. So man has to add something to the gases to provide an odor, so that when you're using your propane heaters and stuff like that, so that if there is a leak, you're able to smell it so that you can shut the unit off so that kablooey does not happen at your place, okay? And that's not something you want. Oh, also, if you're going to be using propane, just make sure that you get a little spray bottle with soapy water. You spray at whatever joints or whatever connections you make for the simple, and squirt it. Look for bubbles. If you see bubbles, that means you got a leak. You got to tighten it up, or you got to get some new lines or whatever, okay? So with that said, going back to the smell that you smell in propane. Now, this is what I believe, okay? Well, not just what I believe, but it is something that is added to propane. And that is that the thing that you smell, the gas that you smell when propane is being released, that can actually accumulate on the bottom of the propane tanks. And when it comes out as a little oil, and I believe sometimes when we use the propane tank, some of that oil make it in through the hoses and could potentially clog up the orifices that you have in these heaters, okay? Both of these heaters. And it's not just these orifices that's on the ceramics, but it could also be some of the orifices from some of the little tiny little fuel lines that goes and provide fuel to these to the ceramics, okay? I think that sometimes clogs it up. But people are also saying online that some of these hoses, the little red streak is from when we were painting inside the cabin. These hoses are supposedly cheap hoses, and because they're cheap hoses, on the inside, when they're manufacturing, there's particles. When they were being manufactured, there are particles that may be shed on the inside liner of the hoses that could potentially clog the your orifices, including your ceramics. Okay, again, that's where these come in at. They'll filter out the particles and allow your system not to get clogged, and all that means is that every once in a while you have to change one of these filters, okay? What else can I tell you? Take care of your heaters is all I can really tell you, okay? Take care of them and they'll take care of you. My opinion, you do have some orifices down in there. My viewpoint is that if you're not going to be using them, if you're not going to be using these, do not let them just sit out. Also, I would not recommend using them in places where you have a lot of dust in the air, because my viewpoint is that fine dust particles can actually go kablooey, okay? If you have a lot of them in the air, they can go kablooey, and that's one aspect. And the other thing is that as the dust particles settle down, they may clog up some of the, especially the orifice that's open for fuel to come out to ignite. Well, the pilot light, that is an area as to where it can get clogged, and that will require you cleaning out the gas lines on the inside of these units. Otherwise, y'all, I'm at the end of the video, and here's what I got to tell you, okay? Confessions can also give you gas. Get it? Confession, gas, propane gas. Okay, y'all take care.